So is Goa really a drugs haven as is being suggested by some? Does the Goa government remain lax in this fight against drugs? What is hurting the fight against drugs? Why is it that drugs are so freely available even now in parts of Goa? B.V. Kumar is former NCB chief, joins me. Derek Almeida, senior journalist based in Goa, joins me. Rui Ferreira, advocate and social activist based in Panjim, joins me. And Viresh Borkar is an MLA from St. Andre and the president of the Revolutionary Goans Party that is claiming to stand for the rights of the people of Goa. I want to come to you, Rui Ferreira, first, because you've been fighting this menace of drugs in Goa for a long time. Do you believe that Sonali Phogat's case is a one-off, or do you believe even today there are shacks along the beach which are freely dealing in drugs with drug peddlers freely roaming around? Mr. Ferreira?
Can't hear you clearly. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you clearly. My question to you, do you believe this Sonali Phogat case is a one-off, or do you believe that drugs are still freely being made available and the possibility therefore of drug overdoses or drinks being mixed in these parts of Anjuna are still happening?
Goa has been an endemic in drugs. This is because you are catching the tail end of the drug scenario. What about the drug lords? The drug lords are behind the screen. They are going after small fish, the peddlers, the tiny fish, you know, which you feel under your feet to get a nice massage. But the main sharks who are in political robes, who are in league with the police, they are involved, and they are the people shielding the drug racket.
So are these drug lords based in Goa, or are they outside Goa and dealing with the local sarpanches and the local politicians?
This drug racket began in 1975. It's almost 47 years when the hippie culture came to Goa. So 47 years, it has grown tremendously because where there is demand, there is supply.
But who are the drug lords, Rui? Who are the drug lords, Rui? Are they politicians? Are they local sarpanches? Are they people who've come from outside Goa? Who do you believe are running the drug business? Who is running the drug business?
I can't hear you clearly.
Okay, I'll try and get back to you, Rui Ferreira, about that. But B.V. Kumar, as a former NCB chief, when I look at these drug seizure numbers, Goa doesn't, interestingly, rank among the top. Punjab, Maharashtra, Uttar Pradesh, much higher in numbers, narco crimes, drug seizures. However, what we see in Goa, very low conviction, even in the cases where people are actually charged with drug crimes, conviction rate is very low, just about 2-3%. So I just wonder whether the problem lies in actually cracking down and ensuring conviction of those involved. Even in Curly's, the owner has been arrested in the past and yet his restaurant license is never cancelled.
Radeep, thanks for inviting me. If you give me a minute, I'll give historically what I've seen myself, what is happening in Goa. 1976, I visited Goa in my official capacity as Commissioner of Customs, Bombay, and I found to my shock that Anjuna beach, which was very sparsely populated at that point of time, was being used for sunbathing by the foreign tourists, totally naked, lying on the beaches. There were a number of shacks where, when I walked along the beach, I found they are freely selling hashish and ganja at that point of time. Synthetic drugs did not enter Goa at that point of time because even in India it was not available. Then subsequently in 83, when CHOGAM was held, the Commonwealth Heads of Government meeting, then chartered planes started coming, and then hordes of tourists were coming. Even earlier there was a hippie trail, if you recall. Summer they used to spend in Nepal, and winter they used to come and freely, basically to enjoy the drugs that was freely available. Now,
so that is 70s, 80s, sir, with due regard, we are in 20, sir, Mr. Kumar, we are in 2022. Let's not go into the past.
I'll come to the, I'll come to the present situation. All the time we have been thinking that probably Goa was a distribution center where they catered to the tourists, both the Russians, the Israelis who have now declined, and the Nigerians who are in a big way operating a number of drug distribution channels. But things have changed. Now, foreign travel chartered flights are regularly coming, and except for the pandemic period, they used to bring 1,000 tourists during the season, starting from October to April. Now, a part of that trip, they used to come basically to Bombay, but their trip to Goa was sponsored by the drug mafias. And so they used to get a free stay plus free this thing, and they were taking drugs out of Goa. At one time we thought Goa was only a consuming center. Now Goa has become a transit and exporting country as far as export of drugs are concerned. They export MDMA, they export cocaine, and to other destinations. This is the change that has happened in our things. You can't say that Goa police have been keeping quiet. For example, in 2007 they seized 70 kgs of various types of narcotic drugs. In 78 they seized about 92 kgs of narcotic drugs. In 2022, in the first half itself, they seized drugs worth 2 crores. 54 persons, including 11 foreigners, have been arrested.
Yes.
Most of the persons arrested are non-Goans. In the last 6 months, ganja, hashish, LSD, MDMA, cocaine, heroin were seized.
But under the NDPS Act, the convictions are only 3.4%. In Goa itself, the convictions are just 3.4% in the last 5 years. And many of these peddlers are coming back.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right, because earlier Goa did not have a testing center. I think now it has been set up. So they used to send to the forensic laboratory, Central Forensic Laboratory at Hyderabad. So there was a delay in getting the reports, and now in Goa itself they have the facility of testing the drugs. Right. So conviction rate will be faster. That's what I hope.
Okay, you hope.
And
that's
what
you
is
hope.
important is the political will to stop.
You're saying the political
will should be there to stop the drug trafficking. There should be a balance between the requirement for tourists and for promoting the tourist industry as against suppression of drug trafficking.
Let me take
that is important.
Then let me take that to Viresh Borkar, because you are an MLA from St. Andre. You say that revolutionary Goans stand Goa for Goans. Why is the drug trade not being cleaned up? Many of the sarpanches, Viresh, are reportedly hand in glove with the drug peddlers and the restaurateurs, because there is this dark underbelly that exists and it continues to flourish. Why have you not cracked down?
Thank you, Rajiv, for inviting me. But we have seen a lot of drug peddlers in Goa, and it's been a growing concern. And right now we have actually come up many cases. But whenever the case comes, that time only people come to know that this drugs has been going on, drugs issues. But drugs issues for last 45 years. And due to the non-concern of the government, whichever government it may be, but government is not much concerned about this, because many of the politicians are involved in this drug peddling, and they are supporting this. They are masters or the.
No, you are claiming that many of the politicians of Goa are involved in the drug trade. Is that what you are claiming?
No, politicians mean they are supporting the peddlers because of their haftas, what they are collecting. They are collecting the bribes, and you might have seen that during the panchayat election also they are spending a lot of money because of this business. This is become a business in Goa right now, and it is not only in the beach line now. It has become entire Goa. Like it is entered already in the schools, in the colleges, and it has become one of the biggest concern in Goa. And nobody, like government, has to take action, strict actions on this. But
so you're saying that in a way this hafta culture has grown. The role of the police also I'll come to in a moment, but I want to understand from you, Derek Almeida. Everybody knows this is Goa's worst kept secret. It did not require Sonali Phogat's tragic death for us to put this out in a way in the public domain. We saw it with the Scarlet killing case also in the past. Is there this politics, police, drug mafia nexus that exists at the moment on the ground?
Rajdeep, first this attempt to smear Goa and to kind of say that it's become a haven for drugs and a haven for drug peddlers. I don't quite buy that. I don't quite buy that, and I have reasons for that. You see, the tourism industry stands on 3 legs here. One is beaches, one is casinos, and the third is nightlife. And nightlife is driven by music, by cuisine, and by alcohol primarily. Drugs is a portion of it, but the big driver is alcohol. And that is why in Goa, you will find that no one will come to Goa on 2nd of October because it's a dry day. Every time you have a dry day, footfalls dive down. Now, the other thing, if you look at the seizures all over India and compare it with Goa, you see, like
No, it's a very small proportion. It's a very small proportion. I agree.
It's not just a small proportion. If you look at it as per capita seizure, you see, Goa is very, very low. It's very, very low. Okay? And yet everybody's painting, there is a correlation, you see, between seizures and what is really happening on ground. It's not something in the air.
So you're saying actually the drug trade is very minimal. Is that what you're saying?
I'm saying drugs are available in Goa, but this thing that it's a drug haven and it's everywhere and it's rampant and Goa is in a total mess and all, that picture is not correct. It's absolutely not.
But how do you explain the fact then, Derek, that a restaurant like Curly's, where the proprietor has been raided in the past, where it has been accused in the past of allowing some of their customers to engage in drugs, where in this case possibly a drink was spiked with drugs, possibly by her assistants, why is it that there is not a greater crackdown on specific places which are repeated offenders?
The places cannot be offenders, Rajdeep. It's the people who carry drugs. If you seize drugs from someone, then that person becomes the offender. The place where you catch him cannot be an offender unless you prove that the owner of Curly himself is selling drugs. You see? Now, in the case of Sonali Phogat, they got the drugs from another hotel.
Right.
Should that hotel be closed down? No, I don't think so. You have to catch the people who are selling drugs, and they have infiltrated. Yes, there is a correlation and a relation between the nightlife. We have a very robust and a very vibrant nightlife in Goa, okay? And drugs is a part of it.
Do we need greater policing though of that nightlife, or do you believe that the nightlife is being sufficiently policed?
We need to have a balance between policing and tourism, okay? We need to have that balancing. But there is a problem. There is another problem, and that is with that conviction rate that you were talking about. And that problem has something to do with Section 50 of the NDPS Act. That is where most of the cases are collapsing. 50 of the NDPS Act makes it very clear that the raiding party has to apprise the accused of his right to be searched by a gazetted officer. Very often this is not done, or this is ignored, or the rights are not appraised, and the cases collapse. And I've seen, because I do the court reports, that in most cases, Section 50 is the problem.
You're making very
So
important...
you need to tighten this. Yes.
You're making very important points, Derek, because, as a Goan also, we don't want Goa to be branded as it was even after the Scarlet killing case. And that Rui Ferreira is perhaps also another side of the story. That, Sonali Phogat happens, it acquires the national headlines, suddenly we come and say Goa is a drug haven. But when I look at the numbers, Punjab, Himachal Pradesh, Uttar Pradesh, Maharashtra are way ahead in terms of even per capita drug consumption as well as cases that have been filed. So Rui Ferreira, are we exaggerating the problem on the ground? Do you believe the problem is really as deep as is being suggested by some of the others? Okay, we seem to be having a problem with Rui's audio. We'll try and connect that. But you, Mr. Borkar, you want to respond? Are we exaggerating the problem when you say on this program that the politicians are involved? Why don't you, in a way, provide evidence then of which sarpanches are involved? How is it done? Put it before the assembly. You're a member of the assembly. Put all this before the assembly.
Yeah, basically last assembly session I have already highlighted regarding this drugs issue, and I want to tell you regarding Belpuri Gadas are also supplying the drugs, and it has been found like there are suppliers in Panjim as well, wherein you might not know that they are suppliers. They are like general, and they are just roaming around.
Peddlers. They are very small drug peddlers.
They are very small. But what is happening right now, that they are entering the villages. Earlier it used to be only in the beach lines. Now they are entering the villages, and slowly they are like spoiling the youth. The unemployed youth, they are getting spoiled because of the drugs. This is the major problem in Goa, which is harming. It is not only on the beaches; it is coming in the villages as well. And Goa people also knows this. And basically, on the beaches, we have a couple of times we have filed a complaint on the Arambol beach. We have filed a complaint, and there was a small quantity of drug supply which was held in Arambol beach, and the foreigners, the Nigerians, was involved in this. So we have been after them, but what has happened is that we can't be continuously, and that there should be a continuous track and continuous process should be followed.
Well, all I can say is that we spoke to people in the Goa government. Today is Ganesh Chaturthi. One of them could not come on the show, but they have promised that this will be a crackdown. And they've also said what Derek Almeida said. Please don't brand the entire state as a drug haven based on what has happened in this particular instance. That would be unfair. That would be wrong. Goa is still a place to party, but you need to party with care. Don't allow your drinks to get out of control. Don't allow your drinks to get spiked, as it seems to have happened in Sonali Phogat's case, certainly. To all my guests, I appreciate you joining us on the news today here on Ganesh Chaturthi.